They had no clue who they were messing with situation. My new coworker kept bragging about his elite military background and questioning my commitment to the job, not knowing I'm a Purple Heart recipient who served 3 combat tours in Afghanistan. I started working at this security consulting firm 6 months ago after transitioning out of the army. Good company, decent pay, chance to use my military experience without deployment stress. My cubicle neighbor was Derek, mid-20s, talked constantly about his special forces training and how civilian jobs were beneath his skill level. I did 2 years in the army, Derek announced during his first week. Special operations. Most people here wouldn't last 5 minutes in real military environment. Derek wore tactical gear to the office, had military stickers on his laptop, constantly referenced his combat experience during meetings. This project timeline is unrealistic, he'd say. In Special Forces, we learned mission planning requires proper intel and resources. First red flag was when Derek started questioning my work ethic during staff meetings. Some people just don't have that military discipline, he said, glancing at me. You can tell who's been through real training. What makes you think I haven't been through military training? You're too soft. Real soldiers carry themselves differently. Derek was sizing me up like I was some civilian who'd never seen hardship. Second incident was worse. Derek started lecturing me about warrior mentality during lunch breaks. Civilian mindset is weak. In combat, you learn what real pressure feels like. Most people crack under actual stress. Have you seen combat? Classified missions. Can't talk about specifics, but I've been in situations most people couldn't handle. Derek was getting more elaborate with his military stories, clearly enjoying the mystique. Third week, Derek brought in military gear to show off his supposed Special Forces background. This is a tactical knife I carried on missions, he said, showing other employees. Second incident was worse. Derek started lecturing me about warrior mentality during lunch breaks. Civilian mindset is weak. In combat, you learn what real pressure feels like. Most people crack under actual stress. Have you seen combat? Classified missions. Can't talk about specifics, but I've been in situations most people couldn't handle. Derek was getting more elaborate with his military stories, clearly enjoying the mystique. Third week, Derek brought in military gear to show off his supposed Special Forces background. This is a tactical knife I carried on missions, he said, showing other employees. Had to use it in close quarter situations. It was a $20 knife from a surplus store with fake wear marks. See the scar? Shrapnel from an IED in Iraq. The scar, look, I pulled up my military service record in DD-214. Staff Sergeant Mike Rodriguez, 101st Airborne Division. 3 combat deployments to Afghanistan, 2018 to 2022. Derek's expression started faltering. Bronze Star for Valor, Purple Heart for injuries sustained during enemy contact, Combat Infantryman badge. I showed them photos from my deployment ceremony. This is me receiving the Purple Heart after taking shrapnel from an IED outside Kandahar. Derek was staring at my actual combat awards, realizing he'd been lying about military service to a decorated combat veteran. Those classified missions Derek mentioned, his DD-214 shows 2 years as a supply clerk at Fort Hood. Never deployed, never saw combat. The client was looking between us, understanding the situation. Derek, you've spent a month questioning a Purple Heart recipient's understanding of combat stress. Derek tried to backtrack. I never said I was Special Forces exactly. You literally introduced yourself as Special Operations on your first day. I pulled out my phone and showed them Derek's LinkedIn profile, where he claimed to be a former Special Forces operator. Stolen valor is actually a federal crime, Derek. Derek resigned the next day, before HR could investigate his false military claims. The client specifically requested me as lead consultant, saying they wanted someone with actual combat experience. Sometimes the person you're lying to has the exact credentials you're pretending to have.